Saab, a name synonymous with safety, reliability, great big bumpers, ABBA, and of course, Sweden. Well, some of those items are behind them because Saab have come a very long way in the past few years and build some very desirable cars now. Cars like this, the new 9.3. Now, hang on a minute, you're thinking, this is a 900 surely. Well, it's not. This is the all-new Saab 9.3 and it's had major revisions over the 900, or so Saab tell us. Now, I've never quite been able to make my mind up about Saab cars. Don't get me wrong, they make some very good cars and I've considered buying one or two over the years, but never quite been able to take the plunge for some reason. Maybe because you think they're not quite in the same league as, say, BMW or Mercedes, but perhaps that's where Saab are actually the winners in all this. Now, thankfully, the days of those huge black bumpers that we saw on the 900 back in the 1980s and early 90s have long gone. These days they're a lot more refined. But of course, safety is still paramount for Saab cars. And I'll never forget the 900 series that my parents-in-law had back in the 1980s. It was comfortable, it was safe, and it was secure. And of course, that's what Saab are hoping for with the new 9.3 to continue those long-held traditions. Now look at this, surely the star of the Saab range, the new 9.3 convertible. It looks visually very similar to the old 900 convertible, but there are one or two changes that you might spot if you look very closely at it. But it is a beautiful looking, very desirable. The hood is simplicity itself. The same hood that Mercedes used on their cabriolets and convertibles from years gone by. And it's so simple, it all folds neatly back into the rear, the windows go down, and it's open top motoring at its best. Now, the 9.3 comes in a choice of three different styles, as with the 900 that it replaced. There's the 3-door, a 5-door, and this 3-door convertible too. Plus, of course, you get a choice of 4 different engines. More about that later. Prices start from £16,500, rising to just over £30,000 for something like this, the SE convertible that's got everything on it. Trim is very good too, generally anyway. You get 3 different trim levels. There's standard, there's an S and an SE, and something like this, the 9.3 SE convertible, has basically everything on it. Although one thing that the standard car doesn't have on is an alarm, which is rather surprising. It's got an immobiliser, but no alarm on a car costing £16,500. Rather mean. So let's see if the revisions that Saab say they've made to the 9.3 over the existing 900 series really work and really come into play. Let's take this gorgeous 9.3 turbo convertible for a spin. John, you're showing us the new 9.3 here today. A lot of people would think, what's the difference between the 900 and the new 9.3? Perhaps you can just run through some of the main points in the evolution of the 9.3.
Yes, I mean, it reminds you of the old saying, don't judge a book by its cover. We've made a few external changes. The bumper treatments and the grille, front and rear, are different. But it's really the changes under the skin on 9.3 which I think are significant. We've remodelled a lot of the front suspension, the front struts and the dampers, and we've got more spring travel. What this adds up to on the road, we think, is a more compliant ride and more direct, quicker steering as well. And we think it's quite an advance over 900.
Now, you'll obviously be looking for original 900 customers to come into the 9.3. Who else do you think you might pull in terms of from other brands?
Well, we certainly think we've got a competitive proposition here for the BMW drivers, Audi drivers. But we know with 900 a lot we're also trading up from some of the volume brands. So we think we've got a more attractive proposition here.
And how do prices compare up against either the other brands and over the old 900 range?
Well, we've done a lot of competitor analysis in terms of pricing and equipment you get in the car. And we know, as I think we've demonstrated today, that pricing-wise it undercuts, we think, most of the competition. There are a lot of important standard items in our cars which we may have to pay for as extras with other competitors without going into a lot of detail. On average, as the car stands, it's about 2.5% more than 900. But if you add in the price and the improvement in specifications, you could argue it's really not gone up at all. We're maintaining our position in the market as offering something which we think is very competitive.
Now, what about pricing over the original 900 and over your competitors? How does the new 93 compare up?
Well, we think, of course, it compares very favourably. We really do have a very high level of standard specification in our cars, and there are many items, electric windows and the like, alarm immobilisers, which we may have to pay extra for. We've done the analysis, and we do know, certainly as regards our major competitors, religion sometimes forbids me mentioning names, but certainly BMW and Audi, we are, I think, significantly better value than those. And we'll be getting customers, as we always do, from those marques, and also the other end, the volume end of the market, people trading up, I think, can be attracted into these cars.
The car's steering, ride and handling are all considerably improved, taking the dynamics of 9.3 much closer to 9.5 levels. On the steering, they've strengthened the rack mountings and reduced the steering gear ratio. On the road, that gives the driver a quicker, more direct and precise response. They've now fitted an hydraulic clutch across the whole range, and again that improves feel and control for the driver and eases the process of gear changing. Saab being Saab, their engineers are always keen to improve levels of safety, and 9.3 has two important new features. First, those front seats have a real safety bonus. They're fitted with interactive head restraints, just like the 9.5s. These restraints give useful protection against neck whiplash, which is the most common type of road injury. And the value of that feature was recently recognised when Saab won the Prince Michael Road Safety Award for technical innovation. The other important safety improvement is the standard fitment of twin-section side impact airbags, giving both head and chest protection. The big news under the bonnet of the new 9.3 is the introduction of Saab's first ever diesel engine. They haven't had one before because, frankly, they didn't believe a diesel could offer the level of refinement that they required. Well, all that has now changed with the arrival of a 2.2-litre direct injection turbo diesel with 4 valves per cylinder and dual overhead camshafts, and it delivers both strong performance and good economy, 0 to 60 in just over 10 seconds, and a combined cycle of 42 miles per gallon, and cruising will return over 52 miles per gallon. Now, Saab tell us that there are over 1,100 changes on the new 9.3 over the original 900 series, and most of those changes you can't see and you won't know about. They're there under the skin, so to speak. But they have improved the brakes, the suspension, the handling. All round, the 9.3 is a better car than the 900, so they tell us anyway. It's very difficult for us to judge on a quick test like we have today whether that is in fact true. Now, this of course is the new 9.3 convertible I'm driving at the moment, and of course the old 900 convertible is a car that did wonders for Saab's image. It was a car to be seen in, very chic, very stylish, lots of people wanted them, and they sold tremendously well for Saab. This is the 2-litre turbo that I'm driving at the moment, and of course it has that wonderful Saab turbo engine. When you put your foot down hard, you get such a kick in the backside, it's great to drive. Now, there's no doubt that the new Saab 9.3 is a far better car than the 900 series it replaces, not to diminish, of course, the 900 series. And that can only help bring a whole new breed of consumers into the Saab name, perhaps from BMW, from Mercedes and from Audi, and who knows where else. And also the advent of that new Saab turbo diesel engine, a first, remember, for them, that 2.2 turbo diesel engine, can only help bring a whole new breed of customers to the Saab brand.